Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees! You travel over land and sea to make one proselyte, and when he becomes one, he becomes twice the child of hell as you are. To Matthew 23:15. A recurrent theme again. There's so many idols being propped up every day in this world, and they're all selling something. They're selling a way of life, what's popular, what culture promotes, what you can have if you just submit to this ideology. And when people buy into it, they truly believe, and they dedicate their lives to living in that system of belief. I think of that movie The Village from M. Night Shyamalan, where they created this story to raise their children's and the future generations within the confines of this national forest that had fences that kept them in, and they said there was monsters, and if you went out they would get you, yada yada, but they had an agreement. All the children didn't know any better, so they just grew up in this encampment believing it, until ultimately, obviously, it was a film where ultimately clues were had, and somebody did end up realizing that this was all lies and this was not real, and all the fear that was created to keep them isolated in that one place was fiction. You've got so many people who are righteous in their own eyes. There's so much virtue signaling being taught on so many levels about so many different things, and all of it divides because it all creates pride. And I heard people talking today, I heard a talk show talking about today, it's like friends, when they disagree on especially political things, they can no longer be friends. It's like you can no longer have a difference of opinion in this world without severing a friendship or a relationship. And it's so sad because, particularly in this country, it was built on the premise of free speech and being able to speak your mind and have independent ideas separate from what we're told to think. It's ironic that the rebellion that was fostered to get us to a place of conformity is now the very thing that we're being demonized for rebelling against a conformed ideology. And you have two sides to it. There's the extreme left and there's the extreme right, and again, they're both wrong. But the righteous ones, the people that consider themselves righteous, albeit both sides do that, they're righteous in their own eyes, and they pin the tail on an easy target of people who are perverting God's law, and they don't realize that they're a victim of their own premise. Their pride destroys them because they have no grace, they have no patience for hearing the other side. And it seems nearly impossible, and truly it is impossible without the grace of God. If you're not focusing on Christ and his example, there's no way you'll have a chance at representing him in a way that will transform somebody's heart from hard to soft. And, you know, I pray a clean heart in me, oh God. When you read the Psalms and the cries of King David, create in me a clean heart and instill a new spirit in me. Get rid of this stone heart and give me a heart of flesh, a soft heart that can receive that grace that this world rejects. And there's so many people who are being conditioned to invite and welcome hell. And as the last few days have been like, it got up to like 116 today where I am, man, certainly feels like it a little bit physically, but it dulls in comparison to the spiritual reality of where we are and where we've been conditioned to be, which is so divided because pride has blinded so many to the simple truth that we need to forgive others and have grace with others, regardless of what they think, if it runs contrary to what we think, because we are taught to think so many things when we're dealing with false information and things that are allowing us to be deceived every day. It can be a very different story, but just something to think about. Woe to those who bring up proselytes only so they can be twice the child of hell that they are. Scary words, Matthew 23. from Jesus himself. So beware of pride, beware of promoting the self, beware of just not being aware of our own hypocrisy and our own self-righteousness, because that pride sends us to a bad place. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. Hope you're staying cool. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.